Hi, good evening, everybody. I'll call the meeting to order. Thank you very much. What we can do is a roll call. I forgot to tell you, I'm sorry. This is our new NA, Brandon.
Hi, everybody.
So go ahead, please.
I started the NCO this month, and I'm gonna be the new neighborhood assistant representative for this Nuʻuanu board, and I am just looking forward to working with everybody and finding out the issues and the things of importance in this community.
Well, we welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
So do you want to start with a roll call, please?
Yes, absolutely. I'll start with attendance. Board member Mason Iona. Let's see, I'm not seeing them.
Yeah.
Okay, absent. Board member Adrian Dillard.
Here. She's here.
Oh, here, okay. Board member Jill Easley Allen.
She's here.
And she's here. Okay. Thank you. Board member Ray G.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Board member Catherine Gray.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Here. Board member Audrey Hidano.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
we can. Thank you. Board member Puni Kama.
Here.
Here. Thank you. Board member Megan Kenny.
Here.
Here. Thank you. Board member Paula Kurashige.
Aloha.
Thank you, Paula. Board member Michael Lung, who we just saw.
Here, yeah.
Here. Hello, Michael. Board member Philip Soon.
Here.
Okay, thank you, Philip. Good evening. Chair Patrick Smith.
Here.
Here.
And then
Okay.
Sylvia Young.
And
Sylvia.
Sylvia.
I saw her.
Here.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. We have a full house. That's fantastic. So first up on the agenda, we have our public officials, our monthly reports, and we start out with Honolulu Fire Department, and we have fighter fire Josh. Sorry if that sounds a little weird. Go ahead, please.
Okay. The statistics provided below represent confirmed numbers of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the fire response map on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Information tab. And should you have any questions, please email the HFD Public Affair and Media Liaison at hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Okay, so statistics for April 2025, fires. We've had 0 structure fires, 0 wildland and brush fires, 1 nuisance fire, 1 cooking fire, and 3 activated alarm fires, but there was no fire. So just 3 activated alarms. As for emergencies, we've had 45 medical calls, 0 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 3 motor vehicle crashes / collisions, 2 mountain rescues, and 0 ocean rescues, and 0 hazardous materials incidents. Nuisance fires, as stated above, they include rubbish fires outside of a structure or a vehicle. As for our fire safety tip for the month of May 2025, home fire sprinklers. Fire sprinklers serve as the first line of defense against fires and often extinguish the fire before a fire department arrives. For more information, visit homefiresprinkler.org. Fires spread quickly. A fire can turn deadly in under 2 minutes. Synthetic materials burn quickly and release deadly poisonous smoke. High-risk individuals in home fires include small children, elderly adults, those with disabilities, and pets. Fire sprinklers protect your home and family and activate automatically to control the fire, thereby giving everyone a chance to escape. The best protection is having a working smoke alarm, fire sprinklers, and a practice fire escape plan. Information about Honolulu's ordinances relating to fire safety is available at fire.honolulu.gov.
Thank you. Do we have, excuse me, any questions from the board for the firefighter? Go ahead, Paula.
Questions will. Have three neighbors.
Paula, you're kind of
check-
shifting in and out. We've lost your
Your
audio.
department.
Paula, I'm afraid we've lost your audio. Well, let me,
Hello?
Paula. Sorry. All right, Paula, I'm sorry, we can't hear you here. I don't know, hopefully you hear us. Are there any, Paula, let me come back to you. We'll try once more. Are there any other questions from the board for the fire department? Are there any questions from the public? Okay, Paula, you want? I think she's still.
One, if you're hard.
Let me try playing from here, because I don't know if this is more clear than that
Oh,
for some reason.
Okay, hold on just one second. We may have some audio issues. We're gonna try again.
I'm not sure what's I'm really not sure what's
I
that.
know,
Yeah.
I think it was her.
Oh,
Maybe we can try to go.
If
Okay.
she could write down the questions and then next month we can come in.
Yeah,
Absolutely, I can.
that's actually a
Yeah.
much better way. Okay.
okay.
Well, Paula, I'm sorry. What we're gonna do is Brandon will reach out, or, well, somehow, if you could call Brandon, or Brandon will reach out to you and get the questions, and then the next month, Honolulu Fire Department can respond. I'm sorry, but that's all. Thank you. Yeah, we just can't hear you. So, thank you very much,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
What?
Stay safe. Thank you. Next, sorry, Paula. Next up on the agenda, we have Honolulu Police Department. Do we have anyone from District 1 this evening?
Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead, please.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Chair Patrick Smith and everyone in attendance. I'm Sergeant Casamore, representing Honolulu HPD District 1. Thank you for your time and patience. Information provided today represent the total amount of cases for the area. And for more information, the general public can go to HPD website, www.hpd.org. Yeah. Statistical information for the month of April is as follows. For this month, we have motor vehicle theft. This month is 3, previous is 6. Burglary, this month is 7, previous is 5. And theft, this month is 4, previous is 5. UMV, we have 3 this month and no change from last month. Assault, this month is 1, previous is 6. Sex assault, this month is 0, previous is 1. Graffiti, we have 0 for this month and as well as last month. And drugs, we have 7 this month and previously 0. Total cost for service, we have 575 this month and previous is 652. Okay. Due to the increase of burglaries this month of April, District 1 had reallocated police personnel to address the offense. Look into these burglaries for this area. Most were burglaries that occurred during the daytime when residents are out working. Which leads me to highlight for this month. On April 19, Baywatch Patrol arrested a 31-year-old male for burglary in the first degree under report number 25146-715. The suspect broke into the resident while they were at home. Baywatch Patrol responded and caught the suspect while the male was leaving the house without incident. we had HPD will be monitoring the burglaries in the area to see if the arrest of the suspect causes a drop in the numbers. District 1 is also conducting park and lookout sweeps to help reduce homelessness issues from arising. We're also in the midst of the summer break, so kids will be out of school. So we're asking everybody in our community to be more aware of increased pedestrian in parks and intersections. We have recorded 28 motor vehicle collision deaths since the beginning of the year. And the safety tip for this month of April would be the regards of road rage. You guys saw the news regards with that road rage, that person who actually punched the two females in their vehicle. Okay, so
Yes.
they become impatient and enraged. Okay, so please do not engage with these enraged drivers, as we don't know what they could be capable of doing. Call 911 immediately and take note of the license plate, okay, and meet up with the officers if possible. Okay, at this time, I'm going to yield back to the rest of my time so I can take any questions.
Thank you, Sergeant. Are there any questions from the board for the sergeant?
I have a question.
From the community? Go ahead, Paula, please. Paula, I am sorry, but your audio is going in
Oh,
and out.
God.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're just not really, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, it's coming in, we're not getting much. So,
B246.
Paula, we're only getting a portion of what you're saying, sorry.
But I will follow up with her.
Yeah, and there again, Brandon will follow up. Brandon will follow up with you, to try to get a report next month.
Yeah, I think it's just her bandwidth.
Yeah, it may be.
Yeah, Paula, if you turn off your video, your audio might make it through.
That's a good suggestion. Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
Turn off your video. So is it, I always think it's Zoom, it's in the bottom left-hand corner, right? To turn off your video? So
Yes.
Paula, it's an option in the bottom left-hand portion.
Yes.
Thank you for your patience, Sergeant. We're just trying to get this.
No problem, sir. No problem.
Thank you, sir. Did you get it, Paula? Okay, your video is off, so can you try now?
Oh, fine.
Well, now you turned it back on. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, Paula. It's,
You have unmute and stop video right there.
yeah. We're looking.
Hello?
Well, we can turn off the video actually.
Oh, well, we can turn off your video on our side, so we're gonna try that.
Try to put the volume in here.
Just 1 second. We're gonna try to turn it off from our end.
Click on that three dot. And stop video.
Okay, it didn't. It's still on.
I think it might be lagging. Oh.
But,
Okay, Paula, I'm sorry. We're just having too much trouble, so we're gonna have to reach out. Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but do we have any other questions for the sergeant from the board or from the public? Hearing none. Thank you very much, Sergeant Casabar. We appreciate you coming out tonight, and stay safe. And we appreciate all of
You're
all
welcome,
your
sir.
officers.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next up, we have District 5. Do we have any representative from District 5? Honolulu Police
Hi, good evening. Lieutenant Yamashita
Good
here.
evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi,
sir.
good evening. I'll go over the statistics for the month of April. We're from Kalihi District, District 5. So for aggravated assaults, we had 0. Auto thefts, we had 3. Burglaries, we had 0. Robberies, we had 0. Sex assaults, we had 0. Simple assaults, we had 1. Thefts, we had 6. And car break-ins, we had 9. Or total calls for at 817. For the car break-ins, it seems like there's a couple vehicles that the vehicles were left unlocked. And for the other remaining vehicles, seems like all of them, the passenger side windows were shattered. And one more thing, we do have a coffee with a cop coming up. It's gonna be on June 13th at the Liliha McDonald's, located at 414 North School Street. It's gonna be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So have the community members will have an informal opportunity to share stories and build relationship with police officers. So if you guys are free, please come out. Again, it's on June 13th. That's a Friday. The Liliha McDonald's, located at 414 North School Street. I'll take any question, comments, or concerns at this time.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board or from the public for the officer?
Is the concern about the district?
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah,
This is the Kalihi district,
District 5 isn't that the, the,
I'm.
It's the Kalihi district.
Bangtan, so what is?
Yes.
well, you can ask and
Oh,
just see. Can you come up and,
First time I come in, I don't know what to say.
okay, well, I'll help you.
Oh, thank you.
So, if you would say your name, please.
Oh, my name's Selena.
Okay, and then
And,
you can ask the
the
officer.
reason I come in because I received a letter, but because I have maybe some phone call to, call the police officer.
Oh, please speak up a little bit.
Yeah, because the place I live in, I just moved in on February middle. And then after 1 week, I smell something from my apartment. And then scheduling, and then because they try to, that's the new building, which is like 1192, across from the Social Security office, Alakia Street. Then I noticed that a lot of people like go in and out, but anyway, it doesn't matter because the new place I move in, and then later I smell something from my apartment. From my apartment, the funny kind smell. First they smoking, but that building is not supposed smoking. Even they post as smoking, they do inspect the building every 3 months. But the day I just moved in, and then about 2-3 weeks, they start to inspect the building plus the fire, inspection. And then thereafter, and then the people starting, I smell something. First, I smell something from the ceiling, which is like not supposed to be. It's not cigarette, but not supposed cigarette. Then they do smoke cigarette, but I just like understanding what special meaning did. And then later I find out e-cigarette, but it's not e-cigarette. It's a smell like drug. And then getting worse and worse. And then from the kitchen, I complained to the office. And then finally, they seems like I thought that I'm just like nonsense. Even call my son to, your mother okay? Then later, but I say I'm okay. Why I still, independent. I take care of myself, and then because my son called me, and then why don't you move to the other side? But small buildings, 250 square feet. Where can I move? Starting to smelling from the ceiling about the kitchen, and then later and complain them, and then later getting more and more. Even the place I sleep in, they do those things too, and getting worse and worse. And because they do it when weekend. Then I noticed a lot of parking car on the street because across from the federal court. I noticed some familiar car parked there, especially the 1 or 2 car. Then when the time they park over there, then I noticed those people smell. Look like the people coming to work for make truck. They have this shift like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, or until the Monday morning. Monday morning before the office open, then they stop. But lately, getting worse. Even off because last week they have 3 days to do because I complained they just take action, try to do the inspection building, fire activity, and then something else. And then maybe stop them from doing those things. Then I find out later, after that, the office closed on Friday and then started. They seems like want to rush back what they missing. Day and night. And my neighbor, they did too, both sides. So I smell some, I cannot stand, so I pound the wall and they stop.
So, I'm sorry, this location is 1152 Alakaya Street, is that what?
1192.
1192. So, what I'm hearing is, and officer, if you want to respond, there's obviously suspicious
That
activity.
belong to the telephone company. The reason I applied for the building because I have that kind of experience before, I'm just like, I want to say this island getting more and more people make job and taking job. It's worse, really worse. And every time I call the cop and then one of the cop, he's teasing me, go to the hotel. I say, you pay for me, wait.
Well, let's hear what,
And then, it's a long story. For where I live, after I retired before the pandemic, and then I have a small, surgery, I stay home. And I noticed, but that's a long story, I just talking about what happened right now. Without the history. Every time I live there, they have people do those things. So I keep moving.
okay.
And the last one was Kahala between the Kauai Kai. I have to break the lease and then move to here. I thought this is a senior building, affordable senior building. I can release from those jobs. But you don't believe it, it's still happening, more worse, because low income. Some people, it's just like living there, they enjoy some people using their place to make job.
Okay, well, let's let the officer, if you have a response for that, sir.
That's a great question, but I believe 1192 Alakia Street is going to fall under District 1. So I'm gonna turn it over to Sergeant Rich Casabar for that response. If
Thank
he's still
you.
on.
Okay, I'm still on. 1192 is actually in Sector 1, so that's not my area of responsibility as a sergeant. But anyway, I could address it. If you do smell something suspicious, of course you notify the police and we'll address it as necessary. So if it's nothing suspicious, then you have to bring it out to your property manager.
I did.
Okay.
I even.
So as far as like us addressing that smell, we can't do anything as a police officers because, like I said, if nothing suspicious, we can't do anything about it.
But I'm the one who suffer, and now it's both sides. And now they're getting smart. They even try before that you can smell it, but now you don't. They have something to cover it.
Well,
They
ma'am,
even. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but we do have to move on. I apologize. But,
Yeah.
But I think in summation, if you, I don't want to speak for the police officers, but I hear that if you have smelled drugs or something, you can.
I smell drug in the beginning, and then until recently, they probably pound something on the wall to cover the wall, but you don't smell now. But
Well,
you feel sick.
Yeah, so that really,
Because the
unfortunately,
air,
I'm sorry, that really would be something for your property manager.
Yeah, I did already.
There is, I can just tell you off, there is a mediation center, and I can't remember the name, it's like Mediation Center of the Pacific or something.
Mediation.
Yes, ma'am, and it helps with landlord-tenant disputes, and I don't recall what that is, and that's what I would suggest. If you don't feel like your property manager is giving you the satisfaction that you want, you can try to reach out to
I
them.
heard somebody told me they try to kick them out, but everything needs evidence.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
That's really hard.
yeah, and unfortunately, I don't know if that's
Yeah,
the
even the
police.
call officer, they say, when they arrive there, they already shut up everything, it's no smell at all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
so I come in here because I
Sure.
called the sir last night and they
yes.
give me the,
So there's a mediation center of the Pacific. The number for that is 521-6767. You can also give that to the person. Also, if she's not satisfied with the officer's response, and she's not satisfied with the service, she could always request the supervisor to come down, and then we can further the investigation. Yeah. So if she's not
Thank-
satisfied with the officer's response or the service, she can always request for a supervisor to come down.
Thank you very much.
I don't mean not satisfied, but the limit, yeah? You understand the situation, their limit,
They are limited,
Yeah.
and
they
we,
cannot knock the door either.
right. Well, we could give you this,
Yeah.
number, this contact, and call them and see if they can help you resolve your
You know, the
dispute.
first I have problem, I call so many cops and fire department. The guy, they thought I'm crazy, you need evidence, and said, you know, I'm crazy at the time. And then
Right.
because where I live is my property,
Yes,
and they tell me, ooh,
well, that's, okay, well, Brandon, our neighborhood assistant, will follow up on.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And you are department of,
No, I'm a neighborhood board chair.
you are the chef.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the officers from the public or
I
anybody?
understand, they can limit to do.
Hearing none, officers, thank you so much.
Thank
know,
you.
We appreciate your time. Please stay safe and thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Good night.
Thank you. Next up, we have Neighborhood Security Watch. Paula, I don't know if we had your video fixed. Paula? Okay, sorry. We will get with you next
So what I can.
next time. So right now we have Border Water Supply. We have Jimmy back. So Jimmy, if you'd like to go ahead.
Stand over here, I guess.
That's fine. Just the camera's right.
Okay.
Brian.
Okay.
Brandon.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jimmy Llanos, and I'll be representing Board of Water Supply tonight. First, I just wanted to follow up on updates from last month. The first is concerning the Eva Road and Dowsett Avenue Water Systems Improvements Project. Unfortunately, we're still waiting on CHIPD approval, but we'll be sure to update the board on any updates we have. And the second is the patching on the roads in the area. So last labor report in April, the Board of Water Supply identified and marked 2 areas for additional repaving work. That was at 3148 Alika Avenue and 30 Wood Street. And I'm here to report that the Board of Water Supply is currently waiting for permits from DPP. But as soon as we have them, then we'll also let the board know. So moving on to my main break report, there was only one main break in April. That was on April 28th. That was a 6-inch diameter pipe at 3552 Nuʻuanu Poly Drive. And the install year was 1931. And there was also a main break on May 15th. That was an 8-inch diameter pipe at 38 Wood Street, and the install year was 2007. So finally, the general water announcement, I'm going to be talking about the summer water conservation tips.
Thank you, Brian.
The sun is turning up the heat, and summer is just around the corner. It's important to ensure we're saving every drop of water to keep our community strong and sustainable today and for generations to come. Here are some easy tips to save water this summer. 1, water your plants early in the morning to reduce evaporation. 2, take shorter showers. 3, check for toilet leaks. The culprit is usually a faulty flapper. 4, don't let the faucet run and run. And 5, apply for BWS rebates on water efficient appliances and systems. Saving water not only helps conserve this precious resource, but it can also lower your water bill. Get more tips at www.boardofwatersupply.com/7ways. So that concludes the end of my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the board for Jenny from Board of Water Supply? Any questions from anybody? Hearing none, thank you. Thank you very much, Jimmy. We appreciate your report. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, next up on the agenda, we have the fillings of vacancies. We have 2 vacancies in Subdistrict 1, which is the area around Punch Bowl. If anybody who lives generally in the area of Punch Bowl and would like to serve on the board, let us know. If you volunteer, we can determine your eligibility after that. So is there anybody in attendance that would want to volunteer to serve on our board as representatives from Punch Bowl? Hearing none, we can move on. So next up, we have our Oahu NPO report. Reggie, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, my video is kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. But at the May 7th Oahu NPO meeting, they just went over a presentation on complete streets by the City and County of Honolulu, Department of Transportation Services. I'm sorry, not complete streets. It's called Safe Routes to Schools. So they have a person that's federally funded within their department that coordinates with the DOT Safe Routes to Schools coordinator. And they work with creating routes 1.5 miles around elementary, middle, and high schools in various areas throughout the state to make it safe for the keikis to walk as pedestrians to school. The emphasis was about promoting inclusive walking and rolling. Sorry, my video's on this side. Increasing driver culture, safety culture, lowering driver speeds, enhancing crosswalks, enhancing walkways, and having fun for the keiki. They allocated about $340,000 a year for projects, and these projects are reflected in the capital improvement projects that the City and County of Honolulu does. There were several projects about, let me see, trying to look here in the video. There were several projects in Kalihi on Kalama Street, Bullock Avenue, Beckley Street, Puhali Road, and Kanoa Street, but nothing around our elementary, middle. I don't think there's a high school in our district unless Roosevelt High School.
Reggie, you're actually coming in and out. Maybe there's some issue with Nuʻuanu. Now we see you, but we don't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll just wrap up. That there were no projects allocated in our area, but just know that these Safe Routes to School projects kind of look like complete streets projects. They're usually smaller projects, like funded about $75,000 or so to create a sidewalk near a school, or to put up those pedestrian signs in the crosswalk. Minor projects that make it safe for the keiki to walk to school. But other than that, there were no projects within our area that was designated. But I'll keep going to the meetings and keep all of you informed. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you, Ray. Are there any questions from anybody for Reggie about the Oahu NPO? I will say that if you ever see anybody, or if they give you a report about complete streets, if you could ask them the status of Nuʻuanu. I think we got pushed to the low end of the totem pole as far as priorities, and I just wonder if ever they come in, the city comes in like DTS. I think complete streets was its own kind of entity, but if they do come in, if you keep that in mind, thank you. So
I'll do that, and just know that it still is in the queue. So if you ever see any roadwork construction in our neighborhood, like on Judge Street or Liliha Street, know that the complete street projects will be coming in at the tail end. So that's,
thank you.
So it's in the queue. You just need to be a little bit patient. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we appreciate your report. Next up on our agenda is the Papalea Community Report. And that would be Adrian. Adrian? Adrian, are you with us?
Her name is there, but she's not unmuted.
Okay. Adrian, if you come back online, we're just circled back. So, okay, yeah, just let us know if there's a change in status. So next up, we have our resident and community concerns. Is there a public concern from a community member someone wants to express? Hearing none, we can move on to our elected official reports.
Hello?
First,
Hello?
yes, go
Excuse
ahead,
me?
please. Please state your name.
Yeah, so my name is Mark Oyama.
Okay, thank you. Please go ahead.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so I'm calling on the phone. I live along the Poly Highway. So recently, the Department of Transportation installed another raised crosswalk on the Poly Highway along Wood Street, at the Wood Street intersection. So for those of us who are living in that area, the noise it's making is too loud. They installed these sort of rumble strip things. Actually, it's not the crosswalk itself that was making the noise, but it was the markings that they put on it a few weeks later. So when they put in the markings, they're sort of like rumble strips, the noise just became terrible for people, or for those of us who are in that area. So we did a news article on this yesterday at KHON2. So it's an ongoing situation. So I'm not gonna let that drop. So I just wanted to bring that up. This might be related to some of the things that Paula Kurashige would be talking about on the agenda, but I don't know if she's working today. So I mean, her computer audio wasn't working or something. So
Yes, Paula raised the issue to me. What we can raise that when Senator Rhodes has his report, since he's probably best positioned to contact the State Department or the DOT. We can bring up the issue with him.
yeah, I've seen his article. He's already done some interviews with the DOT, or yeah, I think over this exact issue with the speed raised crosswalks. So yeah, he's definitely in favor of. Well, at least I'm not saying I wanted to remove that raised crosswalk, but he was in favor of removing them all. So yeah, he would. Yeah, I mean, I guess he would be a contact. But we've already had the news reporters, KHON2. They've all contacted the Department of Transportation. I've contacted them. So at this point, it's just putting as much pressure on them as we can to get them to remove at least remove the rumble strips. I don't know if, I mean, I didn't ask for them to remove the crosswalk itself or anything like that, because I guess I won't take a stance for now, but it can help pedestrian safety. So I'm just asking for them to remove the noisemakers.
Yeah, my understanding is a problem. So hopefully it gets addressed soon. So thank you for sharing. And like I said,
sure, thanks, no problem.
Thank you. Are there any other public concerns anyone wishes to speak to this evening? Any members from the public? Seeing none, we'll move on to our elected officials reports. First up, we have.
Before you go to elected officials, Patrick, I was here. I just couldn't get on. This is Adrian for the Papakolea report.
Adrian, yeah, thank you. Yeah, go ahead with your Papakolea report.
Okay, I just wanted to report that in Papakolea, the Community Association, Naleo o Papakolea, did community cleanup. They've been focused with the Fire Wise program to be cleaning common areas, spaces that community walks, like where kids are walking to school and stuff. So they had another community cleanup the last weekend. This weekend, they'll have out bins for community to be able to put in green waste and stuff. Their focus is on making sure there are fire breaks in areas that are vacant around community. So they are working very hard with community volunteers with support from Department of Hawaiian Homelands to continue to clean in a community. Additionally, our Kalina Poawaina project, we've begun community conversations, and we had 3 so far during the month of May, covering different things to engage community to discuss the planning of our Kupuna Supportive Living Center. We've discussed things such as history and culture of the area of Puawaina. We've also had community members that will be hosting conversations for their families in their homes and stuff. So we're doing everything we can to engage as much of community as we can to make sure that as many people are involved in letting the organization know Kula Nonopoi Hawaii how they want to see that 7.25 acres on Puawaina to be developed. We will be entering into an agreement with Department of Hawaiian Homelands for the right of entry on that land within the next month. Additionally, Kula received a grant from the Office of Hawaiian Affairs for our Kupuna Community Care Network to continue the work we do for our Kupuna for $500,000 for the next 2 years. So we're busy in Papakolea doing the work of serving community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions from anybody about Papakolea community? Well, Adrian, I will let you know, I was at the Makiki board meeting last week, and I believe it was HOA, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, I believe it was that organization came out, and they said they wanted to reach out to the boards and let them know, and they said since Papakolea is in their neighborhood board, they wanted to reach out to them. And of course, I spoke to one of the representatives, and I said, well, our board has Papakolea too, so we'd love to hear from you. If you have any connections into that community, into that organization, let them know that we'd love to hear about them. It's just, I think they wanted to reach out to have a connection to see, how they can serve us and how we can serve them. So it would just be a great thing if you know of anybody in that organization.
Number 10, you said?
Yeah, it was Board 10 and it's Makiki, and I can look at the agenda. I can pull the agenda and let you know.
I know.
Oh, okay.
It is, I believe, was it Oahu trustee, Kale Akaka?
I believe so.
Yes, so OHA, she's a OHA trustee for the island of Oahu, and they've been coming out to several boards with a similar mission.
We, Puni and I were at an OHA trustee meeting this month with the University of Hawaii Department of Native Hawaiian Health, presenting to the trustees the work that's being done in Papakolea. So we were just there maybe a week ago and presented to all of the trustees. So as they're doing their talking tour, we were able to present about the work that we're doing to the OHA trustees. So.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Yeah, and if you do run across, tell them we would love to hear from them, and we'd love to do what we can to help them fulfill their mission too. So,
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much, Adrian.
You're welcome.
Next up we have our elected officials, and we have Mayor Rick Giardi's the mayor's rep, which is Director Kim Ashiro. Is the director on?
Hi, everyone.
Oh,
yes, I'm here. Hi. So some highlights from the mayor's newsletter this month, which I will link in the chat. City and state leaders recruit more guardians ad litem to help with assisted community treatment programs for Oahu's homeless community. Mayor Blangiardi also signed bills into law regarding Waikiki street festivals and outdoor dining rules. Recreational fishing returns to the world-famous Ho'omaluhia Botanical Garden. And city leaders unveil a massive new solar canopy at the Blaisdell Center to celebrate Earth Day in Honolulu. Lastly, details on the first Malama Aina Day at Kahuku Point on Oahu's North Shore are found in this month's Mayor's newsletter. The other thing that I was asked to share is regarding summer fun programs and classes at city parks. From Keiki to Kupuna, Waianae to Amanalo, a season full of amazing recreation and educational opportunities is available to you at your city parks and gardens. Register for Summer Fun or registration for Summer Fun 2025 began May 12th with enrichment class signups from May 15th based on where your program is located. Enrollment in summer fun and enrichment classes will be primarily conducted online through the activity section of the Parks and Recreation online system, although walk-in accommodations are also available. I'll be also linking summer fun sites. There's an interactive map. And of course, as mentioned in previous years, if you know of anyone or if you're interested in applying for a part-time job this summer, the Department of Parks and Recreation still needs a lot of motivated workers to enrich our keiki with positive and empowering activities. If you're not sure which park district you're located in, there is that, or there is a different interactive map, which I'll also be linking in the chat. As a follow-up to departmental issues that were brought up, there was a notice on 2960 Pali Highway, or a question regarding this property and whether it was noticed, for having parked cars on the side street blocking the sidewalks, causing community members to walk on the road, possibly due to having a potential Airbnb. Cars have been cited with suitcases. So the Department of Planning and Permitting responded that a total of 8 short-term rental violations and 7 notices of order with fine assessments have been issued to the owner of 2960 Pali Highway. Despite repeated warnings to cease short-term rental activities, non-compliant advertisements continue to resurface over time. DPP will continue to monitor for compliance. Let's see. And then there was a response from HPD. Officer Noli Galacha of District 5 Kalihi Community Policing Team and First Watch Patrol officers made checks at 2960 Pali Highway twice during their shifts and observed no illegal parking. What they suggest is to continue to inform HPD by calling 911 immediately at the time illegal parking is observed so that police officers can be dispatched to make checks. There was also another question that was raised last meeting regarding replacement street signs in the Paoa area. And unfortunately, I have not received a response yet, but once that becomes available, I will report on that at our next meeting. And that concludes my report, and I'm here for any questions or comments from the community.
I will say, so Paula Yoshige is had some audio issues, but she had submitted some questions about the cutting of grass from School Street to Upper Nuʻuanu, and I guess there were some issues. I believe that was brought up last month, but I'm not positive.
I can answer that.
Oh, go ahead, Rachel.
Okay, so we passed it on to the governor's rep, William New, and he said that he brought up to the respective agency to handle that. And
Thank you. How about the 5-year evacuation plan for the schools? Do you know the status of that?
not from the mayor's side.
Not from the mayor's side. Okay, well, we can ask the governor's representative. So are there any questions for the mayor's representative?
I do.
Go ahead, please.
I appreciate the report that she gave. It's been a long-standing thing that goes back a few years, if any. The problem is the garage that they have there is not being utilized as a garage. So there should be some way to find out if that's a legal garage. but they've enclosed it. It appears to be a short-term rental room that they rent out. And that is a problem that doesn't give them the parking space. So they park in the driveway. With large cars, they extend out onto the sidewalk area. So if someone from DPP, Department of Planning Permitting, would sort of check to see what happened to the garage. How come they haven't met the minimum requirements for, if they were approved, which is obvious right now that they're not approved for short-term rentals. But it's good that someone is finally finding out a lot about this. And I'm more concerned about the pedestrians that are using Pali Highway. I've seen people with a wheelchair having to slope down on the driveway because they couldn't have a flat sidewalk. So that's dangerous. I challenged the HPD officers at different times, and they kind of question, oh, I don't know. Their thoughts are like, really? I mean, is it really illegal? I mean, some of these things are coming out like they're trying to just drift away from them, and I'm glad that someone is doing something about it. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, please. Can you say your name? Or go ahead, Jill.
This is Jill. Hi. So Kim, hi. How are you? I want to go back to hi. So we're back to that whole Turo issue on Henry Street between Rosebank and Claiborne up on Henry. The cars have gotten significantly worse. I did notice that DPP was out there taking photos, and I had a conversation, but now neighbors are really starting to question. It has gotten so bad that we have people standing in the middle of the road with suitcases coming out several times a day now. And it goes all the way from the corner of Rosebank all the way to Claiborne, and now we're noticing that they're parking a little bit further down after Claiborne on Henry Street. Any updated reports on that? Can we start looking into this again? I know that the representative for the DPP that I spoke to said until they find something online, they can't do anything, but evidence is clear. And there's been so many reports and complaints from our neighbors up above.
Okay, Jill, I clearly remember this, and I did go out to the location. If it's good to hear that DPP was out there taking photos. I know that their process is that they need to find proof somewhere that it's being advertised as a rental. But we can report this again to DPP, see if they have any updates, and I can report back next month.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any other questions for the mayor's representative?
Yes, Patrick, this is Sylvia.
Go ahead, please.
Can you put in your, Kim, would you be able to put in your chat the address that I could write a letter of thank you and commendation to, can you believe, DPP? I had to apply for a permit, and it took me 1 week and 5 different people that I had to speak to before I could even apply to know how to apply for that permit. And once I went online to apply for it, I got it instantly, right then and there. So it was no problem. It was just get somebody to tell me where I was supposed to go to get this one permit. And I spoke to 5 different people, but there were 2 people that were extremely helpful, and they followed up with me to find out if I got that permit. So I'd like to write something and let you guys know what my journey was. And I finally got my project done after waiting 1 month without having hot water, okay? Because that was what it was, changing my water system.
Okay, yeah, Sylvia definitely put the contact info in the chat. You could either write to Donna Puna, who is the DPP director, or to the mayor's office. If you have a preference, I can put that contact info. Otherwise, I can just put both and you can decide.
Okay, can you do that? Thank you very much.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you. I would probably suggest the mayor's office, because I'm sure the mayor would love to hear great news about DPP. Seriously,
Yeah, it's a good story.
It will get to, yeah, and it will get to DPP, I'm sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
probably if you
it
send-
will. So we do regularly receive comments or commendations or complaints via the mayor's office, and departments are required to respond. So Director Apuna will receive a copy, I'm sure. You could also copy her so she's aware, but I know she's working tirelessly on this issue and would appreciate any positive feedback.
Well, and I guess you can give positive feedback about the, oh, sorry, Sylvia, if I interrupted, but you can give positive feedback about the, the vacation rental on Poly, the 2962, which I think you said that they were the political organization or entity that gave the citation. So if they're doing that, they're doing a good job too. We appreciate we appreciate that too. So we're glad that they're responsive. And if you pass that on, that would be great.
I'm just waiting.
Yes, I will.
I'm just waiting for the inspector to come and sign off so that I know that it's completely closed.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments for the mayor's representative? Hearing none, thank you very much, Director Oshiro. We appreciate your time and greatly appreciate your attention to detail and on these issues. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Next up, we have Councilman Tyler Dos Santos Tam. Do we have a representative from his office?
Hi, Chair. This is Lisa. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, members, and community. I just have a little short report. Most of it is from our newsletter for this month. The first one is our bills and legislation. Bill 6024 about rate changes and sewer fees. In the most recent budget committee meeting held on Tuesday, April 29, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam scheduled the sewer fees measure, Bill 60. It was brought up for discussion only, and it will continue to be deliberated on in this month and next month. Through this transparent and deliberate process, the council aims to promote sustainability, equity, and encourage water conservation as these service charges are modified. Right now, the person using 20,000 gallons of water only pays about 40% more than someone using 2,000 gallons, even though they are consuming 10 times as much. This bill would help change that as we look to adjust the ratio between the base fee charged to all sewer accounts and the per gallon fee. All of this intended to provide relief to families who are trying to conserve water. In our community, this is kind of on the line between our district and District 5 in Makiki. There's a new affordable housing project in Makiki on Monday, April 21st. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam attended the grand opening of Pensay Metro, a new Bill 7 affordable housing project on Pensacola Street. The project adds 29 much-needed rental units to the area, including 21 one-bedroom apartments. With support from this administration and this council, efforts like this reflect the commitment to expand housing opportunities for local residents. Bill 7 was designed to encourage the development of affordable housing by easing certain building restrictions, especially in urban areas. Our office continues to work on refining and improving the program to ensure there is a balance between increasing our housing supply and incorporating meaningful community input into how these projects are developed. And then just from council member himself, he's grateful for the opportunity to represent District 6. He is happy to collaborate with everybody in the community. He finds your input valuable. and it helps to drive our office on how we can serve all of you. For regular updates on the things that he's doing, follow him on social media. He's in Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, feel free to call our office at 808-768-5006. And if you do that, you will get my voice. And that's all that I have to report at this time.
Thank you. Let me follow up on some issues. I see under the governor's representative, but some of these issues look like they would be city. The ducks being killed in the school zone by speeding on Wood and
Okay.
Alika? Yeah, so there is, I would think that's probably a DTS issue of maybe addressing the speed limits. You know, I see Larry Smith online. Larry, did you want to comment on that? Because isn't that one of your issues? I don't want to say pet issues. That, pardon the pun. Well, Larry, you actually just muted yourself.
All right. Yeah. So since I live in the neighborhood, you know, I think looking at actually lowering the speed limit in those areas, and especially Alika, should be considered. The other thing I noticed, Alika doesn't have very many street lights on Alika, and so it's very dark. And so there's the duck issue, but there's a much bigger issue is that on Alika there are a lot of young kids that are riding their bikes and stuff at night with no lights and no white clothing on and stuff, and so there's a danger to the ducks. But the bigger concern is there's a danger to the kids that are riding their bikes in the street as it's getting darker and so forth. So so maybe one of the ideas is just to have somebody, I think lowering the speed limit would be good, but also have somebody just look at the street lighting, especially on Alika, because it's pretty dark at night and you can't see ducks or people. So that's a concern.
Okay, thank you. I'll bring that back to our office.
Thank you, Larry. Are there any questions or concerns for the council member's representative?
Yes, hello. I have a
Yes,
question.
please go ahead.
This is Terry Easley, and you mentioned that there were affordable apartments that were just built or being offered, and I'm wondering what the affordable total amount would be.
I would have to get back to you on that. I'm not quite sure how much the apartments are going for. This is on Pensacola Street and Lunalilo.
Right.
In Makiki. But I can get back to you. If you want to maybe leave your email address in the chat, I can respond to you directly.
Okay, or I could call the office tomorrow.
That's fine too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Hello?
Paula. Yeah, Paula, we hear you now. Go ahead, please.
I'm trying. For the man with the dart on the Alika, it's not only at night, it's also daytime, killing ducks, and that's a school zone. And I live on Wood Street, and they're going past me at a big...
Okay, Paula, unfortunately, you are not being heard. You're fading out, and now we don't hear you at all. So, okay, I do think...
Give up. I give up. I give up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Paula. Yeah, it's one of those unfortunate things. You're going in and out.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So, do we have any other questions or concerns for the council member's representative? Hearing none, thank you very much, Lisa. One last comment, I will thank you for Lynn Robinson has been helping out our neighborhood, Pacific Heights, with our tree issue, and she's been very, very helpful. And if you just pass that on to the council, that we appreciate her. and our help.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So next up, we have Governor Josh Green's representative, and we actually have a new representative this month. And I think she said she is our new representative. I forget the name. I apologize. I apologize to her if she gets this part of the meeting. She did send me the information. She said she was unable to attend this evening, but she will help us. And I don't know if she had a report.
Chair.
Oh, William. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, please go ahead.
And no worries. And you're correct. Kayla Setzler, who was assisting this board previously, I think I came back on in about January. But Kayla will be coming back onto the Nuʻuanu board beginning next month. Just wanted William New, governor's representative, to Nuʻuanu board. I dropped the link to the newsletter, the main newsletter, in the chat. And one of the highlights I wanted to mention from the governors for this month is on May 9th, the governor and the state of Hawaii announced a $700 million settlement with two pharmaceutical companies over the blood thinner plaques. They settled the $700 million settlement was with Bristol Myers Squibb Company and Sanofi. So, and this is $700 million coming into the state of Hawaii, which is great financial news for us. We also wanted to, so for my DCCA hat, we oversee the state of insurance. June 1st marks hurricane season. So we wanted to encourage all the members of the public to review your insurance policy. Understand that homeowners insurance and renters insurance does not cover hurricanes or floods. Those are separate policies that you may have to consider adding on. During hurricane season as well, we encourage residents to review your policy, see if you have the correct coverages, and also preemptively go ahead and take pictures of your household, your items across the board, because post-disaster, to submit your claims, you'll need to have a account or pictures of your property before damage and after damage. Those always help for the documentation.
Okay, William, I'm sorry, you did go out for a second. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Please.
And lastly, I was here when the resident concern was raised regarding the newly installed, speed mitigation on Pali Highway, and he mentioned that they were on the news yesterday. I have the article up as well. I think DTS is commented or did an interview in response to it, but just for the board's purposes, the Department, or not DTS, I apologize. HDOT, the state's Department of Transportation, did interview as well for that story, and they indicated that they will be sending an engineer out to test the noise for that specific speed bump or speed mitigation item that is potentially causing noise, and they mentioned that they'll be reaching out to the resident Mark directly as well. And that's the end of my report for this one. Happy to have any questions.
Ray, can you go ahead? Go ahead, please. We have a question.
Hi, since Paula's not here, I know for the record that when DOT did install similar bumps in this residential area, they were removed because of the noise. So let's hope that we can, mitigate. The department as well as the residents can work together to either solve the issue or remove that type of noisy bumps and try something different. It's not that we don't want to reduce speeding in our neighborhood. We want to work with DOT, but we need to find a good solution where people can, enjoy the area and have some peace and quiet at night besides the cars rolling over the little bumps and making loud noises. So that's on behalf of Paula. Thank you.
And I would add that I would report to DOT that we are very concerned about speeding and the safety issue regarding, that. However, there is a balance between doing things that may not serve the neighbors. So we appreciate DOT trying something, but in this case, perhaps it's not the best solution. So thank you. Are there any other questions or concerns or comments from?
I do.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, Mike Ellis again. The problem on Pali Highway boils down to one thing: speeding and no enforcement. There aren't very many patrol cars or motorcyclists, HPD people, that are tagging. I mean, they do tag, but it's sporadic. They need to do it regularly, and that will teach, calm the area for speeding cars.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other questions or comments or concerns from anybody? Hearing none. Thank you very much, William. We appreciate your service to our board, and we wish you luck in your future endeavors since you won't be with us any longer, but we thank you.
Oh, I'm still on the team. I just will be cycling Kayla back onto the board. I'll be filling in as needed.
Okay, so a little premature, huh? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Next up on our agenda is our Senator Carl Rhodes.
Good evening, Chair. Chair, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, Glenn.
Okay. Hi, Glenn Young for Senator Rhodes. I provided the report to you folks. It's just a bunch of bills that Carl introduced and that actually passed through the legislature. So it's a long report, so I'm just going to let you guys ask any questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions from anybody we have an attendee, hold on. Just 1 second. Okay, whoever, Ray, please go ahead.
It's not a question. Please convey to the senator his thanks for Act 72 relating to the neighborhood, relating to the Sunshine Law and neighborhood boards. Though it may not solve the problem with the representative reports at the beginning of the meeting where we need to list everything on the agenda of what we're going to be talking about to give notice to the public, it opens the door for discussion and more amendments should the neighborhood boards need any. So please thank him for his efforts, and we do appreciate that act. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'll make sure to pass that on to the senator.
Thank you. Are there any other questions, concerns, or comments? I have one that I'd like for you to pass on to the senator. And I talked to Tom Heinrich from Della Abalati's office about this. And I was at neighborhood board number 9, Waikiki. And there was a gentleman from the Department of Law Enforcement. And he came to the community asking, and I'll phrase it this way, so I don't know that he would phrase it this way, just so you know. He asked for endorsement from the community to establish what I would call a surveillance network. And that is where they would utilize cameras from like the hotels and other organizations around Waikiki. And they would also have ability to track individuals that would wear like a bracelet or something like that, and that would be optional for the individual, and it could be say like a child or an elderly person who needs that. But the other thing he mentioned was perhaps installing plate readers, in other words, for cars entering Waikiki, and there was what I would call a very positive response from the board. But I was very concerned about the privacy aspect of this. And the gentleman didn't have a lot of information to provide in that regard. And I would just inform the senator, put this on his radar, that that so he can look into it and see what his thoughts are. I'd love to hear a response from him about this proposal. Okay? If you need more information, I can provide it outside, but basically that's it in a nutshell. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no, that's interesting. I'll pass that on to Senator Rhodes. And He'll be back beginning of June, so he should be able to come to the boards after that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for all his hard work. I know, or thank him, tell him we thank him for all his hard work. And we know it was a challenging session. So thank you.
Yeah, will do, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up on the agenda, we have, good, there are a lot of issues. Did I miss stuff that? Okay. Next up on the agenda is we have Representative Janet Takanuchi is the representative.
Hi, Chair.
Oh,
yes.
Hello, Jen.
Hello on Zoom. Hi, everybody. Sorry I missed last meeting. It got kind of crazy, but here now to give a couple of just quick updates. Glendon mentioned, I'm sure it's in the report, but did want to share that Paula's bill for the skateboard helmets did pass. That was Senator Rowe's version of the bill that did pass. Very happy to see that come through. Yeah, that was really a great win, I know. Just wanted to share a couple other quick updates from what passed the legislative session, just really quickly for our immediate area for this board. Roosevelt High School did get $3,250,000 for girls' locker room facilities, and the Papakalea Community Development Corporation got $500,000 to do upgrades and repairs to their home base there at the community park center. And then just two quick updates. Oops, sorry. Things I want to share from the state. First, where's my Okay, so I just want to share, so the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations has a summer youth employment program. I just want to share that they are looking for kids who are interested in getting some job experience. These are for kids ages 16 to 18 years old in public high schools, as long as they have an ID and a 2.0 GPA. They can apply to this program. It runs from June 2nd to August 14th. And they can get experience in some of our state departments to help them, kind of get some job experience and put on their resume, a little bit of resume builder, work experience, financial literacy, all those good things. It's a first come, first serve basis. I'll put some of the information in the chat, but the program, you can start to apply now. It runs from June 2nd to August 14th, so kind of summer break for DOE. They pay $18 an hour, up to 40 hours a week. The hours are usually Monday through Friday, 7:45 to 4:30, and DLIR can answer all the questions. I'll put the information for that on how to get information in that chat. It's a great program. It hasn't been signed into law yet, but actually this year the legislature actually started to expand this program to private companies in probably following years. So if they want to try and get involved in this internship program to help our young people, they're going to be able to participate as well after that bill gets signed into law. But for right now, it's state employees, which I super think is important. We want to promote public service. I'm a big believer in that because I was a public service employee for many years. And then also I'll put in the chat as well. We got some information about just fraud resources. If you know, I think we all know fraud things, especially for our kupuna, is an ongoing thing. We want to help. Then there is, really especially for our Medicaid beneficiaries, there's specific information about that through their fraud line. The Senior Medicaid or Medicare Patrol Hawaii organization volunteers. There's information. If you think somebody is having like weird things coming through, you can share this information with them. The number to call is 808-586-7281. I'll put that into the chat. Or there's an email, info@smphawaii.org, which I'll also put in the chat, that you can tell people, if they have any questions about something that's weird coming through about their Medicare information, that they can, follow up and just ask questions ahead of what they're doing. And then I just did want to quickly go back a little bit. I know it came up about the poly highway noise with the noise thing. I also have an inquiry out there to DOT that I put in when community called me about it too. So I'll also be following up about that to see what we can do about the noise situation there. It did sound like it was something that maybe happened because of the couple of times they had to go out there to fix. So hopefully we can get that worked out. But yeah, and any questions or anything, happy to take back to look into.
Thank you. Do we have any questions for anybody for the representative?
Not seeing any immediate hands.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jenna. We appreciate your time and thank you for your service in the session this year.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any other elected officials that we did not call upon that wish to report? Hearing none, we can move on to board business. First up, we have our presentation for our dog parks from the Department of Parks and Recreation. Do we have Nate Sorora? I hope I say that name.
Yeah.
So if
Sorora,
I do. Yeah, and if before you start, I apologize for that request that I made of you about the first tee program. I was thinking that the golf courses fit under Parks and Recreation, and well, duh, I should have known better. And someone actually pointed that to me today, and that was my mistake. So I appreciate you looking into that, but I apologize for making that request. So please go ahead with your report.
Well, it's okay. Actually, it's a very logical mistake to make because the golf courses at one point in time were part of parks. It wasn't until the Department of Enterprise Services was established, I believe, in 1999, that they transferred over the golf courses. It was golf courses, the Shell, and the zoo got transferred over to them. Pretty much everything that makes money, most of this money making. And so I actually did find some information about First Tee. I'm not sure what the specific questions you folks had were, but First Tee is actually a nonprofit organization that does golf classes for youth. And unfortunately, it sounds like they don't really have many of their classes here on Oahu. Looks like they're on the neighbor islands on Kauai, Maui, and Big Island. Once upon a time, they did have a program over at Alawai Golf Course, but that was actually through the vendor that operated the driving range. And so it wasn't really directly through our enterprise services management. It was more through their contractor there. And so right now that golf course is under some renovations. And so they're not offering anything, and it's up to that vendor once they get back at Alawai whether they reestablish that relationship.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate that. I apologize to the board for conflating these two subjects. So please go ahead with your dog park report, if you would. Thank you.
Sure. Actually, first and foremost, before I get to the dog park effort, we actually just had a press conference earlier today about the Mayor's Memorial Day ceremony. And seeing as how Punch Bowl is in your folks' jurisdiction, did want to invite you folks, if you are able to attend the Memorial Day ceremony this coming Monday at 8:30. I'm sure you folks are well aware of it. I'm sure you hear the F-22s coming by every year during the flyover. And if you can't make it in person, Olelo will be live streaming the event on Channel 49.
Thank you.
So, yeah, there's not as much of a presentation that I have today because a lot of it was outlined really in that announcement that we made, a combination of the letter that we submitted to you folks and then a news release that we sent out. If anything, what I can do is, I'm not sure if a copy of the news release was sent to you folks, but I can make sure a copy that gets to you. But if anything, let me see if I can start sharing my screen, and I can show you one of the tools that you folks can use to kind of help.
Okay, it's coming up. Thank you.
No problem. So within that letter that you folks had, it had a link to this map. So we actually created this map specifically for this effort, where it shows all those red dots are the existing dog park locations. And so we'll zoom in on your folks' neighborhood board. I believe this is you right here. There you go. And so you actually click on it and it shows the entire, your entire jurisdiction for the area and whichever dog parks are in your area. Now, one trick for this is to, if you come over here to layers, if you folks are pretty, I'm guessing pretty familiar with your areas. If you hide that ability to do that, you can actually zoom in a little bit more and you can see the parks that are in each area. So for you folks, Booth District Park, I believe Wild Limo is right on your jurisdictional boundary, and that is the on-leash dog park. So this will show you actually the parks that are in the area, in your area, and which ones have dog privileges. In addition to the letter that I provided that has the list of these parks as well too. So just kind of wanted to use this, give you folks an idea of kind of the dog facilities that are available. And, you know, I've done a couple of the presentations.
Nate, you actually just faded out. Well, we have his presentation though.
Yes, he's still sharing the screen.
And everybody else is still there.
Yeah, and then Mike Ellis raised his hand. Maybe we want to let him speak.
Okay, I don't know if everyone can hear me, but I think we're having a little bit of difficulty. We're not sure if it's on our end or not.
Hear you?
We can hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you good.
Did the presentation fade out for you too, Ben?
It did, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, he froze.
Yeah,
Okay.
Patrick, we can hear you really good. And the presentation went very well at the beginning, and all of a sudden we lost everything.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, give us just a moment. We're trying to work on it from our end to see if we can fix this.
He lost.
That's
Mike
cool.
Ellis did have.
Okay.
We need cool.
Well, Paula, you're actually still not coming in very well. So Mike Ellis
I
raised his hand.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike, please.
All right, thank you. If you recall, back in September 17th at your neighborhood board meeting, we had a motion that came up and member Kurashigi seconded, and then it was changed with regards to potential expansions of the number of city dog parks. And if I could just quote from here, let's see, let me just go. During the discussion, member Sylvia Young recommended that instead of listing the parks individually, that they should do a motion that says neighborhood board number 12 is in opposition to having any dog parks in their neighborhood area. Chair Smith asked member Kurashigi if she would like to withdraw. A new motion was moved by member Kurashigi and second by Chair Smith that the neighborhood board 12 is in opposition to having any dog parks in their neighborhood board area. And primarily I'm talking about Nuʻuanu Valley Park. Our park here, Nuʻuanu Valley Park, is a passive park allowing the public to come and enjoy this once beautiful area with children and families. However, over the years, we have experienced neglect to general park maintenance with an increased park users. And the budget is not there to help to maintain the park. The park is overgrown with weeds, graffiti, and general litter. But basically, having lived here adjacent to Nuʻuanu Valley Park during my lifetime, I've noticed the majority of dogs in the park are unleashed as their owners start walking further into the jungle area of the lower portions of the park without concerns to their dog's waste. This action of not picking up is irresponsible and often happens, and it is difficult to have the police monitor these actions as they occur at different times of the day. Currently, our only recourse for action is to call HPD and report a dog in the park, leashed or unleashed, which is currently not permitted by city ordinance. and they just don't come, on time, or it's not a important thing, or they come and the dogs are gone already. But I want everyone to understand that our park is a historical park adjacent to Queen Emma Summer Palace, and it is a passive park. I'm a dog lover, but having them just running all over is not really, when you have families around and they don't pick up their waste, and families are having barbecues and they're fighting the flies as a result of the dog's waste. It's just not work. It would not work in our park. So I am asking again that we go back to the motion that was made and was adopted, and stick to our guns. Thank you.
Thank you. I will let you know that this was a request from Parks and Recreation. I think they're going around to all the neighborhood boards and collecting information. I don't know that our board's opinion has changed. Is there anybody from our board that would speak in favor? And for right now, it's I guess for any of our parks to expand the dog park availability, or access to dogs. You go ahead, Jill.
Hi, so I am in favor of having a dog park in our area. I'm not sure where, but my whole belief is that if we don't present a dog park, then there are going to be owners that are just going to come to the park anyway, like we see. There's no regulation. People are not going to pick up their poop. As if we had a dog park, then there might be rules, regulations. They'll actually add in the poop bags that you can utilize. People will come out and tend to it. We may get some additional money and funds to the park as well too, to have someone look that over. I do feel in Nuʻuanu, because we do not have a lot of sidewalks, we have several dog owners, that if we don't allow something like this, it's going to only bite us and come back to bite us, because, they're going to do it anyway. So if we have
Our
something that's
majority of
regulated.
residents
Excuse me, Mr.
own
Ellis.
their own property.
Please,
They
Mr.
can
Ellis,
walk
one
their
at a
dog in
time,
their
please. You have to be
property.
recognized. Excuse me,
We're
Mr. Ellis,
not
you have to be
we
recognized.
don't have condominiums in our area, our immediate area of Nuʻuanu Valley Park.
Mr. Ellis,
I can
please.
imagine that they would do that. They did say, well, we don't have a park, dog park in our condo. And so they bring them up. That's fine. But, there's just irresponsible people that use the park. And we've got children running around. You've got little ones that are walking around, toddlers. And with an unleashed dog, that's true.
Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Ellis, please, you have to wait to be recognized, and please wait to be recognized, and don't interrupt. Please, go ahead, Sylvia.
Okay. I know I made that motion way back when, and I believe that the majority, almost all of us, believe that we don't want any dog parks in any of the parks in our district when we did an inventory of our district. So where would one dog park be? And then, if I read correctly down the line as the months went on since that meeting, that Awaiolimo Park in our district is a dog park. And so I think we do have a dog park in our area, and the designated dog park is Awaiolimo Park. And maybe the problem is that the people that live in our district do not know where Awaiolimo Park is.
Well, it's my hope. Apparently, Parks and Recreation, they're having a big push. I don't know if they're pushing to expand the dog parks, or they're just pushing to see if communities want them, and then hopefully at the end of that, they would promote the parks that actually are allowed to have access for dogs. So, I'm not really sure, that would have been a great question to ask, but you know, with our presenter not being available, we don't know.
Sorry. Hey, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm not sure when
Mike,
I got kicked off, but I'm here for questions. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
It knocked me off when I was talking, and I did not realize it until I stopped talking. So, yes, I'm here to answer questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would make you aware that this board did discuss, we had a inquiry by our council member, Tyler DeSantos Tam, to ask about the question last year, and our board was pretty adamant that we were not for expanding the privileges. Now, we do have a slightly different composition. We have a board member that did speak in favor, but I think as a whole, our board was in the past not enthused or not really in favor of making any expansions. So I guess the question is what is the process for Parks and Recreation? I mean, obviously you're going around to the different boards. Are you trying to promote and expand the number of dog parks? Or are you just trying to get the feel of the community? And then after that, are you going to promote the parks that actually have access to dogs?
Really, right now, it's kind of getting a feel for each community. And so, yeah, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam had made me aware that he had a similar effort. But you are correct that we're looking island-wide, with a few exceptions. Ala Regional Park and our botanical gardens currently, we're not looking at. Ala has got a whole history with enforcement against dog walkers there, and then the botanical gardens are more manicured. So I'll leave those. That's for another discussion. But yes, looking holistically at the other 304 parks that we have across the island. And the thing that's a little bit different this time is we're not just looking to potentially expand the number of on-leash dog parks, but we're also looking at two other things. One is, as Jill had mentioned, some dispensers of dog waste bags. So one idea is to have a pilot program where we put these dispensers at certain locations, preferably at a park that has regular staff, like a district park, so that we can monitor them, because anytime you install something out in the public, it's prone to vandalism. Unfortunately, all of our parks experience vandalism. So that's one idea, because when we were beginning this effort, the irresponsible dog owners not picking up after their pets was certainly an issue that was brought up, and that's something that we take to heart as well. And the other one was, as someone else mentioned, I believe Sylvia mentioned, about the off-leash dogs and about people being irresponsible about not leashing their dogs and about dangerous dogs. So one thing that has changed since council member brought up the issue is that there was a piece of legislation passed last year that goes into effect this July called Act 224, which basically defines what a dangerous dog is and actually makes it a felony in some cases if your dog attacks another person or another dog. So it defines what a dangerous dog is, and then increases the penalties, and then also outlines kind of what the punishments would be. So we hope that those two different initiatives address some of the concerns regarding the dangerous dogs, the irresponsible dog owners, and the hope would be that if we expand these privileges, that we would see less of that irresponsible behavior. That this would not only expand, give with one hand, where the dog owners are being given more areas to take their canine pets, but also to inform them about what is and what is not allowed. And so additional signage would be something that we look at as well too, indicating what is and what is not allowed. All of our unleashed dog parks do have that kind of signage where it has the rules about, maintaining verbal control of your dog, the things that you should do to restrain them in case they do get aggressive towards another dog. And so additional signage indicating, proper behavior at these unleashed dog parks is something that we would look at as well. But right now, it is kind of going out to the different neighborhoods and kind of getting a pulse for what each area is looking for. And so by all means, if it hasn't changed for you folks, that's acceptable. That's what we want to hear is your concerns, whether you do want to have unleashed dog park privileges in your area or you don't.
Thank you. And what's the timeline that you have for responses from the boards?
We're hoping to get something by September. So we wanted you folks to use the summer months so you had a couple of neighborhood board meetings in order if you wanted to put it on the agenda and have it for a formal vote, which areas you'd like to see it. By all means, if you need more time, certainly let us know. If you tell us, hey, we can use a few months. This is not something where we're going to get all the information from the neighborhood boards at one time and make one unilateral decision for which ones can do. We can certainly announce or do unleash privileges at different times. It doesn't have to be all at one time. So if you folks come back to us at a later time and say, hey, we actually would like to see this park be an unleashed dog park, we can certainly take that into consideration.
Thank you. Who do we have?
Isabel Allen.
Isabel Allen, please go ahead.
Hi, yes. I am actually very interested in there being a dog park in our community, and I have multiple friends in Nuʻuanu Valley who we all drive all the way to Windward Side in order to go to the fenced-in dog park there. And I think it's totally acceptable for us to want a dog park here. And a lot of us may have yards, but they're small, and we have very active dogs that need to run. And we do pick up our poop. I've never been to Nuʻuanu Valley Park where I've ever seen a poop that has not been picked up. I'm not sure if other people have seen that, but I personally have not. I also find it very helpful, the signs that Nate was talking about the behaviors dogs should not have at a dog park. Knowing those are there, I have personally known that I am allowed to call a police officer and they can remove an aggressive dog if there is one. Very rarely does that happen. And I have multiple friends, more than 20 people come with me all the way to Windward, which is a 30-minute drive, to have a dog park in our own community. That it would be amazing if we could have a dog park. I'm not sure why we're so opposed to it. Maybe some of us just don't understand dog behaviors as well as some of us that do have dogs. I personally have 3, and I would really love a dog park in our area.
Thank you. Are there any?
Yeah, Kaulana Lee.
Kaulana Lee?
Patrick?
I hope I said, well, just let's.
Kaulana.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Patrick?
Go ahead, please. Well, Sylvia, let's have this person give their testimony right now.
Oh,
if we could.
I think I have my hand up, and I think you have another person whose hand is.
Yes.
Okay, well, our neighborhood assistant is helping me with that. So let's go back to Kaulana Lee, if you would.
Yes, thank you. I'm also in favor of this. Live over by Booth Park, right on Booth Road. Inside of our community itself, I can count how many dogs in my encompassing houses. We have almost 12 dogs in a 6-house area. That would like a dog park to go out and outside. You can't bring your dog to Booth Park because they don't allow pets on top of there, and they're fairly adamant about that when you bring them there. So instead, where there's very little walkways, you walk them on Booth Road, where you have excessive driving, excessive speeding, or you just try to walk around the community with no paved area for that. And it just causes a safety concern for everybody at hand. If we had a dog park that we could take our dogs off leash, I have 2 high energy dogs that would love to run around, and which requires us to go, just like the previous speaker, 30 minutes or further, so that they can get the proper exercise. An off-leash park would be great for them, and I completely support that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess Sylvia.
Sylvia, did you have something? You're muted, Sylvia. Sylvia, you're muted. Sylvia, you're still muted.
Okay, now Terry Easley would like to speak. Oh, she hasn't spoken yet on this issue.
Okay. Sylvia, sorry, we can come back to you, but Terry Easley, please go ahead. You have the floor.
Well, I agree that I think Nuʻuanu or Queen Emma Park is not a good place for the dogs because of the dampness there. But I'm wondering, when you mentioned a Wailimo, is that the one in Paoa? Is that the park in
Yes.
Paoa? But there's no
Yes.
parking there. There's hardly any parking at that park for people that would bring their dogs. And what about, isn't there a kind of a park on Kuakini close to Nuʻuanu Avenue? There's a park there too.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
that's a
that,
botanical park though, I believe.
oh, okay, okay. Because I do feel that there should be some kind of park close by. And looking at all the dots that came up on that map, wow, there's a lot of dog parks every place else except in our area.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Sylvia.
Okay. The thing is, why don't these people that are talking about, well, we know what Booth Park, we specifically said that no dog park on Booth Park because it's used as an activity field. And because it's used as a youth field for ball games year round and the summer fun program and everything like that, it's not feasible to use Booth Park as a park, you know, a dog park. Same thing with the Kawananako School Park. It's a school park and adjacent to a school, and it's used for the schools. And so you have all of these things. And the one that was underutilized in our district is a Wailimo Park, where the homeless and the druggies were living in that area. And that is a really big park. And that's someplace that we, you know, that somehow was designated as a dog park. And you guys could use it. Nuʻuanu, Liliha, well, Liliha is not in our district, but Nuʻuanu, you could use it. Paoa could use it. Papakolea could use it. But it's between, there's no parking to get there anyway, because it's between Lusitana and Pacific Heights Road. It's in between. And guess what? U.S. Senator Brian Schatz lives right next door to the entrance to the park.
Okay, while if obviously there's some interest in the community talking about it, what we did in the past and what we can do in the future is have a list of all the parks that are eligible in our district, and we can go through them. If board members would like to do that, certainly I hear some interest from the community. But it's better than, you know, because there might be an interest in having a dog park, but really until you talk about the specifics and go through each and every one of them, or rather that might be a better strategy to go forward. So unless there's an objection from the board, we could do that next month, and we can literally have that list of all the parks. And I believe there were 10, if memory serves me correct, or in that neighborhood. And we can kind of go through that list, and we can talk about maybe the possibility, and obviously some parks for whatever reason may not be suitable. But is there an objection from the board that we could do that and review the actual list next month and then come up with a recommendation at that point?
Adrian has her hand up.
Okay, Adrian, please go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Patrick, we did this, right? We in May, when we got the letter from Tyler, it came with all the parks that were in his district. So for each neighborhood board that's in Tyler's district, there was a list of the parks. We then wrote him back last May to say we would then review the list and get him a letter of our recommendation. Did we not follow through with that in August of last year? Oh, so we're just going to revisit that?
Well, and that's essentially what I'm asking the board. So let me ask it a little differently. do I want to hear a motion to reconsider that decision of the board at that time?
I move to reconsider with the understanding that all of these neighbors that we're talking to now are very much interested in dog parks. So I feel like we need to represent our neighbors. So I would like to move to reconsider.
Is there a second? Is there a second from any board member? I'm sorry, hearing none. The motion fails. Mike, did you have something?
I would like to rehear the motion again, the complete motion.
The motion is to reconsider our previous decision in, I think, May of last year, that we did not want to expand the access of dogs to any of the parks in our neighborhood board district. So
okay,
we reconsider our recommendation.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the word expand, as long as the existing dog parks that we had are still protected, I'm fine with not revisiting.
Okay, I think this would be an expansion. I believe that even Awalima, I think if I'm saying that correct, I don't think we even asked for that to be expanded
On
access.
there already, Patrick. Awalima is on the letter as a leashed dog park. So that was already existing.
Yeah, okay, so right, so maybe we just, as I recall, we just didn't want to expand. So there again, I would ask, is there a second?
This motion passed in August.
I think it was May or August.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So somebody who on the prevailing side has to make the motion, and then
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, I didn't even hear a second, so I'm sorry. Jill. The motion does fail. That the board has decided this issue. I'm sorry for the dog walkers advocates who want the park's accessibility to be expanded. There is just not a desire on the part of the board members to do so. So with that said, Nate, I don't see you listed, but I assume you're still online. We appreciate you coming out this evening, but that's our decision stands.
Roger
Nate,
that.
did you want to? Okay, go ahead, please. No. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and effort. And it was a great discussion, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem. You folks have a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too. Thank you. So we can move on to our next item of business. I would ask if there is an interest. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for my first page.
Did you want to do Mike Lum?
Yes, I did. So at this point, I would ask that the board, if there's no objection, that we add consideration of the 3 absences from Mike Lum. I forgot to put it on the agenda. Is there an objection to consideration of his 3 absences at this time? Hearing none.
I'm sorry. You want us to vote on whether we want to consider him, consider his 3 absences at this time?
I want to vote to add that to the agenda, so that we can consider it.
Oh, okay. I move to add it to the agenda.
Okay. Well, I just framed it a little differently. I just asked if there was an objection, and then if there was an objection, then we could go through a formal process. So is there an objection to adding that to the agenda, to moving that, or to add that as an agenda item at this time? Hearing none, we're considering, as we've done in a few meetings, we have to, Mike, did you want to address the issue? Let me backtrack and say that.
Yeah, so I believe an explanation is in order. At the beginning of this semester, we had one of our adjunct professors no-showed for an astronomy class. It was a once a week Tuesday evening class. I'm the only one in our department who's, well, basically has the background to be able to teach this class. So I had to step up and fill in for this class on Tuesday nights. I missed 3 or 4 classes, or 3 or 4 neighborhood board meetings over the course of this most recent semester in order to be able to teach that class. The semester is over, so in any future semesters, I probably will not be teaching this class. And hopefully any adjuncts that we get will actually show up for their classes when they're scheduled. So I guess the important part is that this isn't going to happen in future times. However, if the board does vote to remove me, I'll happily take June off and then come back in July. So whichever you guys are up to.
Thank you. And you do wish to continue your service.
Okay,
right?
Mike.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
I have a question, Pat.
Go ahead, Sylvia.
Mike, because you had this class that conflicted with our neighborhood board meeting, did you take the time to notify any one of us that you would be absent?
Yes.
That's my question. Did you notify Patrick or the neighborhood commission office or any one of your fellow board members that you would be absent so we could report it at the meeting?
Yes, I did notify the chair that I would be missing these classes.
Okay. That was my pet peeve. That was my pet peeve in all of these things. Even though in the neighborhood plan, it does not specify, but I thought out of courtesy that would be something nice that we would do. But I'm satisfied that Mike should stay on the board.
Thank you. I will corroborate Mike. He has let me know, but we are required under the plan. There are no unexcused absence, or there are no excused absences. So I have to ask at this time: is there a motion to remove Mike Lum from the board? Hearing none. Thank you, Mike. And I know this, and to me, that's a very good explanation or a good reason to teach a class, and that happens. So thank you very much. You can continue.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Moving on to our agenda. Next up, we have our. I want to report on the expansion or contraction of the neighborhood board district. The reason. Did someone say something? Let me check. Okay, the reason that I'm reporting on this is there was a person at the commission who's a member of the the neighborhood board, Makiki neighborhood board, that does not want the Punch Bowl district to be in Makiki because they believe it does not align with their larger community. And so there was a request to maybe redraw their district. And it would make sense for the remainder, which is mostly around Prospect Street, that part of Punch Bowl to be absorbed into our district. I did speak to the chair of Makiki, and I said, well, if you want to do this, there's a process, and there's a process in the plan. And part of that would be, probably a reaching out to our neighborhood board. The chair did not have much enthusiasm in that plan. I think it was just the desire of one person, and whatever, at least passionate desire. So I don't think that this is going anywhere, but I did want to make the board aware of it. And I don't know if anyone wants to comment, but as far as I'm concerned, I think the issue is kind of concluded without any action. But if there are any thoughts, please let me know.
Okay, Mike, I do. Kat, I do. Okay.
All right, go ahead, Sarah.
I just wanted to expand a little bit more on this situation, because the people in what is Papakolea, the Kiwalo area of Papakolea, which is Anaaniku and Kawaihini, because the Kanaha dry bed river is the boundary line between us and the Makiki Neighborhood Board. And that subdivision is on Kawaihini subdivision is on the other side, Makiki side, but they're more closely aligned with the activities and the ongoings of the Hawaiian homestead land of Papakolea, because they are Hawaiian homestead land also. And that's an area that at one point our board thought should be consolidated into number 12 instead of being on Makiki. Makiki's number 10? I can't remember. They're 10 or 11.
It is. It's 10.
Okay. And the same goes with Liliha. Liliha wanted some of our neighborhood board area also, because they said we were more aligned with them. I mean, part of our district was more aligned with the Liliha group than it was with the Nuʻuanu Punch Bowl group. So there's two sides of these things about the redistricting of it. And I think that I wondered, how do you redistrict? Because we are redistrict by the census tract. If you knew the neighborhood plan, the areas are made up by census tract. And that's how it was determined on what was our boundary. So that's something that we need to, if we want to look at it, that's part of the history.
Thank you. Well, I will let you know, I do chair the Neighborhood Plan Committee for the Commission. And we're looking through the whole neighborhood plan. I personally was not enthusiastic about looking at the geographical boundaries, but there are folks on that committee that do want to look at it. I would say it's probably at least 2 or 3 years down the line. When we get to that point, we will obviously notify all the boards, and we will say that we are reconsidering boundaries, and if the boards want to change it, that we would consider it at that time. If you go through the amendment process that's in the plan itself, it's actually it's challenging. I believe there are a couple ways. One is like 500 signatures of residents from that district. So it's a challenging process. If we do it in a wholesale way, it's a little easier, because then we can just do the public hearing part of it and have it accepted as a broad stroke. But to do it individually is pretty daunting. So unless someone's really passionate about it and wants to pursue it, I find it very unlikely that we would move forward on that. But that's anybody can make a request. So I'll just leave it at that unless there are any other comments.
Yeah, Mike Long would like the floor.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just had a question, clarification. Paul is talking the lower portion of Papakolea, but my impression was that this is between basically the area bounded by Prospect, Pensacola, and I guess H1. Is that the portion, or actually, what portion is the Makiki board looking to basically dish off on us?
My understanding was it is the part around Prospect, Lincoln Elementary, and whatever. Yeah, it was not the Papakolea portion. I think that may have been part of a discussion before, but presently it's more the Prospect that you're talking about. Yes. But there again, I don't want to call that a serious proposal. It just didn't have, I think, the backing to make that proposal. But I did want to make you aware because there was some discussion with McKeekee, and there was some discussion at the commission about that. And well, not the commission didn't really generate it, but it was brought to the commission. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of it. So with that said, are there any last comments?
Adrian.
Oh, Adrian, go ahead, please.
No, you know, we're texting back and forth, Patrick, because looking at it, I'm trying to understand because, as Sylvia said, we've always understood that Kalawahini is in 10. Papakolea is in 12. So not all of the community is in the same neighborhood board. And so as we do things, but I don't know how much representation actually goes to 10. So if it's going to happen down the line, possibly, you know, because we then have, we always look at, is it better that we have Jenna and Della versus just having one, because it's the dual representation. Sometimes that's really a good thing to have, you know, 2 state representatives, you know, covering one area, and the census tract, no matter what, just messes us up as a homestead community. So the fact that it's being tabled, but it is something that's been of concern and conversation over the years. So interesting. That's all.
Thank you. I will let you know that those boundaries are pretty much fixed. So they may have done the census tracts at the very beginning, but they are fixed in the plan. If you look at the plan, they literally go street by street. You know, they're saying down this street, over to another street. So, and that has not changed. And it's actually, this total redistricting is a big issue because, especially out in Eva, where they've seen explosive growth in some areas, you do really have sizable population differences, and things like you know, so that we being the neighborhood plan committee of the commission are going to look at it, but it's like I said, it's probably going to be at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
easily.
but it causes us some limitations in Papakolea, because then there are certain fundings that we don't have access to that other homestead communities have. One, because we're urban, but also because of how the census tracts affect us being in Round Top and all of that. And that's because the homestead is not in one cohesive that we can use that where others. So it continues to be a challenge sometime in what funding we can access as a homestead community. Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I would tell you the philosophy, I think, currently of the commission is to put communities together. So if a community said, hey, because that's really what a neighborhood's supposed to be. So like a collection of maybe smaller communities. So if Papakolea had the desire and they said, hey, we really want to be one collective, then hopefully that can be done. Now, of course, every time you draw boundaries, you affect the new ones, but we don't have to go by population. The nice thing is we're not like house districts or anything like that. We don't have to go by population necessarily. You know, we want to unite communities. So just in the future,
it's something, since we're having our community conversations about pool wine and stuff, I think it's something we need to ask community as we're having conversation, because then the development, should we all be in this one collective so we have one voice around the development and everything else versus the two, because we treat it as a region that we're all three together in how we look, how we move, and it's not 3 separate communities. You know, so yeah, that's something I think we need to take to community for consideration, that it can be changed. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I do think a better time would be in the near future, but the near future, like I said, is probably 2 or 3 years off because we're working on the plan itself, which the geographical boundaries are part of the plan, but we're going to take that a little separately after we finish with all the provisions. So anyway, any last comments? Thank you very much. We can move on. I would say that I think all our other the other board business, or most of them were reported from Paula. I don't know if people want me to, if the board members want me to go one by one. Or if we can maybe wait for a report from Paula. Our neighborhood assistant will reach out and we'll get some kind of input. So, and if there's no objection, we can skip down to just approval of the minutes. Is there an objection?
Kathy.
Oh, Kathy.
Yeah.
Kathy, do you have something you wanted to discuss?
This is just, well, I'm not sure if this is appropriate. In F, it's just a spelling error. For Sun District, should be sub-district.
Thank you.
And then in
that was probably me, probably a typo.
Cutting of grass, school district, school street, they have dreet. So just two typos.
Okay, that's my poor typing, most likely. Sorry.
Oh, that's you.
Thank you. Probably, I assume that's me, so I apologize.
I can correct this.
Okay, thank you. But does anybody wish to discuss any of these, or we can go one by one if you want, because they are on the agenda. But hearing no objection, we will pass over these. Okay, so we can move on to the approval of our April 15th, 2025 meeting minutes. Does anyone wish to offer any corrections or amendments to the minutes that were just... Okay, go ahead, Ray.
On the draft minutes, page 1, under the Honolulu Fire Department, under bullet point number 2, it says provided a follow-up response from the previous meeting regarding the 5-year plan. So I looked up the previous month's minutes and there was no reference to the 5-year plan by the fire department. So I don't know what that's referring to. I didn't have a chance to look at the video, but
so if the minute. So the 5-year plan, I know, was what Paula discussed quite a bit. Was part of it was the evacuation routes. And I think Paula did, as I recollect, and there will be a check, as I recollect, she asked about emergency vehicle access issues with the roads, essentially. That's as I recall it. So that's why she was asking if the fire engines, because they're larger, would have problems going down certain roads when people park. And as I recall, I don't remember how that was directed at the fire department, but I remember she brought that up at one point.
Do you remember how the fire department responded? Because that's what these minutes are referring to.
Yeah, Rachel will go.
Okay. I don't remember word for word, but then the HFD mentioned about that they have to work with all the other agencies like HPD, the school, but they are trying every time to figure out new ways to figure out how to direct traffic, but they did not figure out like a plan for a 5-year plan yet.
So maybe what we should do is just say that the fire department responded, reported about the 5-year plan and access of emergency vehicles on the roads. Because I think it was limited to that. Are they? I assume we can just go back and look.
If anything,
or
would it to just
yes. Yes.
Go ahead, Paula.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
I want the legislature also involved to get it set for whoever comes up to Poly when there is an emergency.
Okay, but right now we're just asking about the minutes. Do you recall how the fire department responded? Well, why don't we do this? If we have a big controversy, we're not really going to be able to settle it. We could actually look that up and make sure it's correct if you'd like before we go to the minute.
why
for
don't I
next
just
month.
why don't I just suggest that we just state that the fire department is coordinating with other agencies for emergency access and the 5-year plan, something to that extent. If that's okay with
Sounds,
everyone.
okay, well, I'll ask if there are objections, so, okay. Did you get that? Okay,
Maybe you could repeat just one more time.
can you repeat that one more time, please?
Sure. Why don't we just state that the fire department is coordinating with other agencies regarding the response to emergency evacuation and the 5-year plan.
Thank you. So are there any other amendments to the minutes? Excuse me, that anyone wishes to offer? So seeing none, are there any objections to adoptions with the amendment provided by Ray? Hearing none, it will be adopted as distributed with the amendment that Ray offered. Thank you.
Vote by unanimous decision.
Well, yeah, there is no objection, so that's typically, yeah, if there's no objection, then we don't need a formal vote. Okay, so that concludes our board business. Is there any other business or anybody want to go back if you've had a chance to review the items that we missed? Yeah, Ray.
Just a quick one on the fire ants. I put a link in the chat. Go and look at that list of the island of Oahu. What this group called StopTheAnt.org lists is every single area on the island of Oahu that had fire ants and what the mitigation. It takes 3 years to treat the area and then get rid of the fire ants. So it has maps. It's a great website, and Nuʻuanu is cited twice. So if you're interested in fire ants, take a look at that website. It's a great resource. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that. So any last comments?
Pat.
Go ahead, Sylvia.
You know, do we have any indication of the results of the election?
That didn't come out yet.
The neighborhood board elections?
Of a neighborhood board election?
No, I don't believe they've been announced.
Oh,
I believe that the vote has concluded, but the announcements haven't been made.
Okay, and then I know we didn't have any election because we just had enough candidates. But do you have any idea of when the swearing in ceremonies are going to be? In June? Usually it's in June sometime because we got to get sworn in before the 30th, by the 30th of June.
I don't have any indication. I don't believe that announcement has been made. And I would also say that I think there is a consideration of not having it at the same location they had last time, because I understand the parking was a little big of an issue. So I don't believe any of that has been finalized. But I assume it's going to be announced soon, but I don't know.
Well, it's kind of nice to get advance notification. So, you know, but okay, that was my only question in announcement. So,
well, I will ask our two NAs here to convey that to Lloyd. Yeah. Just the concern of hoping that announcement comes out soon. I mean, maybe it's going to be in conjunction with results of the neighborhood election. I assume. I don't know.
And then, and when they do that, can you ask them to take into consideration the disabled?
Okay, if they change the meeting location, okay.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
Yes. I will let you know that there were complaints about the election process in some contested elections might be contested by the candidates. I don't know, but it obviously doesn't affect our board, and the executive secretary is working on potential solutions to those, but we shall see. So, okay. If that answers everyone's questions. Thank you. So, for announcements, I would like to announce that Cross Crab, who's the office manager for the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency, their office is developing a first ever Oahu food system plan, and that's a strategic roadmap to guide actions and investments to build a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable food system for the island. They have a survey that they would like to for everyone to fill out or complete. You know, I don't actually have the link to that, so maybe the best case would be to go to their website, which is resilientoahu.org. That's resilientoahu.org, and maybe we can put that, well, that'll go in the minutes, but anyway. And the other part of it is they have a contest that invites all ages to submit original artwork that is somehow connected, Hawaii system connected to the food system. And the deadline for that is May 30th, 2025. There again, you can check their website for more information. The other announcement? Yes.
So actually, they find you in my car. Crap. Really don't need another cat, but man.
Sylvia?
Yeah.
Okay. The other announcement is our next neighborhood board meeting will be June 17th, 2025. We'll meet at the Kapalama Hale, as always, at 7 p.m. Are there any other announcements?
I'd like to say something.
Yes.
Thank you, Rachel, for all your help. We'll miss you.
Thank you.
And welcome, Brendan, to our board.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I will let you know that I provided a lei for Rachel on behalf of the board for her great service. So thank you.
Thank you,
very much.
Thank you, Rachel.
Said she was wonderful. We'll miss her, but I'm sure Brandon will do great. So without anything further, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.